excited to be here today, and I want to echo the comments about my colleagues. We have a great group of legislators in the House this year, and I've told all of the 40 new freshman legislators that I really do think they've got one of the most talented, level-headed group of men and women that I've certainly seen in my short period of time there. And I will say about Representative Armstrong, you know, we get along very well. You know, we disagree periodically. You know, he's very serious about his legislative duties. And just last week, he tried to set up a meeting with me over an issue, and he didn't get to me, but he got to Gabe. And this is what happens when you disagree with everyone. No, in all seriousness, you're very well represented here in this district, and you know, I think Eddie and Joe and you know, everybody at the table will tell you, I do not care if you're a Republican or a Democrat or a Green Party or independent or whatever you want to call yourself. I frankly, pardon my French, you know, don't give a damn, but I do care about having good men and women up there, and you got good men and women. Halftime in Arkansas this weekend, and it made a real big push about to start talking about the things that I like to talk about, and that's money, you know, taxes, the steel project, and Medicaid. So I know I've got the time clock here, so we'll talk about those three things and take any questions that you may have. First of all, on the Amendment 82 steel project, all of you in the room, I'm sure, know that this has been on the ballot 2 times. Statewide to authorize the General Assembly to engage in projects like we're discussing today. Both of those, Amendment 80 and 82, and was it 90? 92? Anyway, it's been there twice. Voters approved it with a 60+% positive vote both times. So at least from a personal level, you know, I feel like that, you know, we've certainly got an obligation to take these project requests seriously, and that's the will of the people. The Department of Grant Tennille, who I'm a big fan of, and his department, they've been working on the steel project for over a year. The governor's been involved for a long time. Richard Weiss and his staff have been involved in this 6 to 9 months. And they are very much in support of the project. Where we are today is we are statutorily required to do an independent review of the economic analysis that came out of Grant's office. We engaged 2 companies this week to perform that analysis. We will have that data back in 14 days, at which time all that information will be distributed to amongst the membership. We will go through a committee process just like any other bill that's filed, and ultimately on the House and Senate floor. It's my opinion, unless there are any glaring red flags that pop up that we are unaware of, that, you know, we need to support the project. If we don't do it, we might as well you know, take ourselves out of the ball game, and I like to be in the ball game. But we'll see. We still have some analysis to do. But if I had to bet, I say that we approve the project. Talk about taxes. You may have read the paper where we had some discussion about taxes this week. And let me say this. There is no scenario that I am aware of or that I will support that results in any line item agency that we're funding today getting less money than they got last year. And I don't think that's that bad, particularly in this economic environment that the country's been in. We're in a pretty good position here in Arkansas. So then the question becomes, you know, how much can we reasonably cut in taxes and grant tax relief? And that debate will take place over the coming weeks. Part of my exercise on Tuesday of throwing that air balloon up was frankly to encourage the membership to start talking about type of issues. And I think from that perspective, as Gabe told me that it's halftime and we're in the third quarter, it's time to start getting down to business. So I suspect that we will cut. There will be some tax relief there. I'm confident that it will be done responsibly, and I'm confident that no two-year colleges are going to close. I'm confident we're not going to kick anybody out of anything, and the world's not going to come to an end. So if that was the case, I would not be involved in it. We're going to go through it. We're going to be smart about it. Medicaid. When we all started this, and I'm sure everybody that had their election this go around, the big topic, across the country has been the Affordable Health Care Act, and this has been dominated the presidency for however long, 4, 5, 6 years at this point. On day one, we were at the table with one option that we were told, and that option was that we could either do nothing or we could fully expand Medicaid. And a lot of the membership, including myself, thought that with what was going on nationally, with some of the unanswered questions, that it just wasn't smart to take that issue up before we knew all of the details, and we knew all the options. We were hearing these things from these other states. They were working these deals, and and they were getting something better than perhaps what was on the table to begin with. And I thought it was just a prudent thing to do to make sure that we waited to take this up until we affirmatively knew. Over that time, we had a lot of pressure. All of these men and women sitting at the table had a lot of pressure, and I had a lot of pressure to take it up. And every day when we get through our chamber meeting, I go up and have a press conference, and the first thing is, well, are you avoiding the Medicaid deal? What's going on? Why aren't you taking it up? And every day I would say, this fluid situation, we're trying to obtain the answer. So here's where we are today. And I will applaud the governor for listening to the concerns that a lot of membership had. And we basically went to him, and he was receptive and said, look, if you don't want to do this, then tell me what you want, and I'll go try to get it. And he did that. And so here's where we are today. We are now at the posture where, moving forward, there will not be one addition to the Medicaid rolls. Moreover, we think that under this current offer that's on the table, that we actually can reduce the Medicaid enrollees. So how are you going to do that? Well, the Secretary has offered for all of our population that we're talking about, and I don't get too down to mention the details, I know I'm going to run short on time, but we're talking about, at this point, basically anybody under 138% of the poverty, federal poverty line. And what the offer is to take the money from the United States Treasury to come down to Arkansas and to purchase private pay insurance policies for this population of people with a sliding scale federal subsidy. So if you're in the 138, you're going to pay more. Pick a number, $100 a month premium for your policy. You're at the top end of that scale. You'll pay, pick a number, $30 for that $100, and then it's less, decreases as the less money that you make. This is a fundamental 180-degree change in policy